So we're here today in this very old and beautiful community center that they used to make gigs before this pandemic started. So it hasn't been used for a very long time, and we just managed to sneak in to do a mobile recording session for the Fireball sessions featuring MckNasty. I can put it on one of them.
Yeah.
You think that's a vibe?
Yeah.
Because then I can interact with it.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be... I've done my setup. I've brought all of this with me, my own stands, mics, everything. While I'm waiting for the musicians to arrive and to bring their own gear, I thought I'd just walk you through my rig and through what we're doing today. Before we dive in the gear and all the geeky stuff, I'd like to first say a few things about mobile recording. Because we live in a pandemic, the access to studios is very limited. And that's why those mobile recording sessions offer an opportunity for you to travel to the locations where the musicians feel comfortable and safe and capture them there. Another fun aspect of it is that you get to have a lot of fun. You get to adapt to different spaces. Every single space sounds different. And in London, you can find some incredible spaces, basements, living rooms, small gig rooms like this one, that people wouldn't assume are suitable for recording. But as long as you have a mobile rig similar to this one, you can capture some real magic.
Play it confidently. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it was just me. I'm now talking about that. Yeah. The second one is right, I think, but the first one.
Now, my centerpiece of my setup is the Zen Tour Synergy Core. I've had this interface for over a year now. It's become my go-to weapon for recording, for mixing. It's incredibly small, but in the same time it's packed with technology that came straight from Antelope's highest grade premium devices. And because I work in a professional recording studio at the Friary, I'm used to a certain quality of sound. And I feel like when I'm using the Zen Tour, I get that feeling of feeling at home. So that's kind of my centerpiece. It's got only 4 mic preamps and 4 DIs at the front. We're going to use all of them. But the special thing about it is that it has ADAT inputs and outputs. That's a huge thing for me, and I think more interfaces should have ADAT, because what that allows me to do is go on a location like here, where I might find more preamps, other bits of gear in somebody else's system, and with a single ADAT cable, I can turn this small desktop interface into this giant monster, capable of recording 16 channels at the same time. Like today, we're recording 5 people playing together, and that's gonna be more than enough to capture everybody. And I feel like today we can use the gear to our advantage. And there has been some stunning innovations that allow us, the mobile engineers, to come to a weird location like this and bring a really high standard.
Yeah.
So this is the desk, this is the control room in the studio.
So can you just tell me something?
Go on.
What is this nice little thing here? What is this here? Because this looks fucking...
This basically is a format called 500 series, and these are individual mic preamps that I plug all the mics in.
Yeah.
It saves a lot of space. It's a format to get loads of power in a very small space. What I'm gonna do today is record the bass, guitar, and keyboard directly into the interface with the DIs, and later on I might reamp Charlie's guitar, because I know he has a very particular sound. So if he brings his own amp, we might just reamp it after that. But I'm doing that so I can isolate the drums and the saxophone alone in the room and get minimal spillage from other instruments. Because at the end of the day, we are doing a record today and we want to capture the sound as best as humanly possible. The way I think of my mic pre's is kind of like colors and different flavors. Those mic pre's that I have in front of me here that are not built in the Zen, I'm gonna use mainly on the drums. Those two right here give me that very familiar 1073 sound. They have a sort of a fullness in them and smoothness in the mid-range. So I think I'm gonna use them on the snare drum. Now I know Josh uses 2 snares, so I'm gonna use one of the Cranborns on the second snare. Those 4 I know are very, very punchy. They're ridiculously punchy. Their transients are just bang on. So they sound lovely on drums, and they have this nice little mojo feature which can either thicken up the low end or kind of smooth out the top end. So I'm gonna use them for the drums as well. The bass is going to be DI'd straight in here just because I love how that thing sounds on bass with a little bit of thump. I think it's fantastic. The Zen Tour mic pre's, I kind of think of them as moldable flavors because I can mold them into whatever I want. I can use the vintage mic pre emulations, especially now I am using Antelope modeling microphones in those 4 mic pre's, so I can shape the color of the sound however I want. I can shape the sound of the mic and the sound of the mic pre with their software. And for today's session, I'm going to use one of the mic pre's for the sax. I'm going to use one for the kick out, and I'm probably gonna go with the U47 emulation. And then I'm going to use the other 2 on the toms. Do you want toms or anything else?
Small, yeah? Whatever you did just now. Oh, there we go. Have I got any of this? Yes, please, just a little bit. It says sparkles a bit. If not, then don't worry. Can I get a little less of Charlie? A little bit less of Charlie for me?
Less of Charlie. Another important bit I want to talk about is the monitoring for the musicians, because I believe that that is just as important as capturing good sound. We are going to be monitoring directly from the DAW, and I'm sending the signal to the individual people through that D-sub connection. From here, it's going to a headphone amplifier, and because I know this band feels comfortable using in-ears and they have their own kind of wireless system, I'm just sending the individual monitor mixes to their system, and we're sorted.
What? 4 bars. Okay. So 4 bars, Charlie. 4 bars, and then we're out. Everyone ready? Everyone all right? Yeah. All right, let's go. That's it, man. That's a wrap.
So yeah, that was quite a fun recording session. I was prepared for some things, but at one point, most of it just went out of the window. I did a little bit of experimentation. I changed where the overheads were several times because I was listening for the balance and trying to find something that I like. Today was a first for me using this mic, the Antelope Duo, on a sax. And I think it sounded great. Even the sax player had a listen after that, and he took pictures of the mic because it just sounded so natural and open and full. The sax sounded really full and like warm. And that's just a testament to the mic. And I didn't even use any emulation on this on this thing, because it is a modeling mic, and later on now I can go in the mix and try different emulations post-mortem sort of. But even as it is, it just sounded great. They're just very practical because I can have the pop shield mounted for the mic. I don't need separate clips or stands or anything, and that's very useful because something like the sax, where there is air coming out of it, in that sense it was great that I was able to put some kind of a shield in front of the mic. And the same happened here with the kick, because I put it on in front of the hole of the kick. It was great that I could just have that little shield attached to the mic and stop any air coming and blasting at the capsule. I had a mic inside the kick which I'm gonna use to capture the attack and the snappiness of the drum, but that thing in front is just gonna capture more open sound that's kind of breathing. It's gonna capture also a lot of thump. I'm gonna put some kind of tube emulation on it later on to bring that out. There's a kind of a U47 type tube emulation that works great, or there's also a U47 FET that I can use for the kick, and I know that's gonna sound great. And now is the fun bit, packing up after everybody's gone.
Gabs?
Yes.
I did tell you that you're playing the melody, didn't it? That you're playing the melody, innit? I did tell you that, innit?
No.
That there's no singer.
No, you didn't tell me.
I did.
No.
Are you
You
shitting
said
me
you
off?
wanted me to play a solo. But it's fine.